Welcome back. Episode 12, Rumors from the Corner. Today is April 29th, 2024. Jimbo, what's up, my man?
Derby
How are
week.
you?
Derby week.
Big week.
Derby week.
We've been talking about this for a couple months now, and it's finally here.
Finally here. Finally here. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. Oh, hey! Sorry.
Cool him down.
Hey,
He's ready.
I'm sorry, baby. I am sorry.
Did you get out there at all
Oh
Saturday
my
night?
God.
You go?
Oh my God. This place, when I tell you it's incredible, it is incredible. I mean, even when I walked in the gates, I didn't know where the hell I was going. I mean, I thought I knew that place back and forth. Man, it is something to be seen. I mean, I just can't wait for everyone to get out there. If you're not going this week, definitely go next week when all the out-of-towners are gone and we can take back over. But oh man, it's really awesome.
A lot of people.
Oh man, I thought the crowd was really good. They did the drawing there, which was awesome. Ran into our guy Brooke with the Sierra Leone.
Brooke Smith,
Yeah.
great guy.
Oh man. Yeah, he is
In
really
fact-
good.
In fact, he's our first guest on Rumors from the Corner. Take a listen. Welcome back. We're here today with Sierra Leone co-owner Brooke Smith. Brooke, good to see you. Thanks for coming in today.
Great to be here. When Jimbo said, "Hey, come join our podcast," I'm in. And I think my wife's like, "I think you like this more than you say you do." But anyway, it's great to be here.
Oh man, we can't thank you enough, dude. This is awesome. I mean, to have somebody local in the Derby. I mean, obviously that's anybody who's ever been in the racing industry. To be from Louisville, this is your dream, correct? I mean, did you ever think you'd make it to the Derby?
No, it's a complete dream. I mean, I woke up this morning. It might have been one of the best mornings of my life. I got up and I was officially a part owner of a horse that has been entered in the 150th Kentucky Derby.
Oh, man.
And on top of that, I fired down a Krispy Kreme on the way here. So if you can think of anything better than that, come on.
Oh man, that's great. That's great. What? I mean, how long have you been in the game? As far as when was your first? Who was your first horse? Nobody forgets that. If you've ever owned a horse, you always remember the first horse you ever owned.
Yeah, there was a horse, and he wasn't the first. He was real early. Sticks out. Pour Me a Cool One was the name of the horse. Actually, I believe your old buddy Rob, I think I talked him into a micron of it, and he was really good at finishing second, which isn't actually the worst thing in the world when it comes to horse racing.
No.
If you're talking about purses and things like that, he ultimately won, but he finished second like 4 times in a row. I think he was running up a Turfway. That was amazing. And then kind of a start and stop type of thing. Danny Hutt, who's a Louisvillian, good friend, passed way too young, but I had some horses with him. He was just a blast, very charismatic, fun to be around. We do a few things that were a little unorthodox. We weren't afraid of dropping him in for a tag because we wanted to win. And had an incredible kind of run with him. And then I reconnected with my old high school buddy, a guy named Bill Denzik, who was actually in my same class, graduating class out of Oldham County. We played golf together. Well, he played golf, and then I was the last guy probably on the golf team. But he'd been around horses a long time and worked for some pretty good names, and was training a few out at High Point on his own. And so I looked him up after Danny, and we started buying a few horses. He's an incredible horseman, picks them out, got a great eye for them. There's been many that he's purchased for 10, 15, 20,000, have gone on to win 6 figures, and we've sold a couple of them. So
That's impressive in itself, right there.
it is, and we set this thing up called Rocket Ship Racing. I would have had that hat on, but this is my lucky Risen Star and Bluegrass hat, and I thought I'd bring it to the podcast.
Absolutely, man.
Get a little superstitious now. We're in the Derby week.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But anyway,
Make sure you change your underwear, though.
yeah, exactly. But I might wear the same underwear I wore, even though I probably couldn't tell the difference. But anyway, so you caught the horse business, or you're into horses. I've had as many as 20, which is just for the record, way too many, but you do need some numbers because it's like a stock portfolio or something. You have to have a few that are popping that kind of, hopefully take care of some of the others that aren't racing so well. And then you gotta take the ones that aren't racing so well, even though you may have paid a lot of it for a yearling. You just got to put them where they belong. So
yeah, absolutely. And what some people don't understand, obviously, you guys pay quite a bit for Sierra Leone, but whether it's Sierra Leone or the $20,000 claimer, they both eat the same. They both need to be trained. So a lot of people don't understand. It don't matter just because this horse is worth this and this horse is worth this. I mean, you still got to feed them, train them. It all goes in the same.
Yeah, anybody would say, I don't care how much money you have in your pocket, anybody would say, oh, I don't think about the training expenses. They're either drunk or a fool, one of the two, because they add up. But when you get to Sierra Leone, I'll try to shorten this story down, but I'm in the insurance business, form a facet called surety, which is more like bank credit. I can go into that, but we'll save that for another day. Anyway, I found my way to these younger guys, and they're like mid-30s that were based in London that were doing some things in event insurance. The outfit's called 1783, and ended up becoming an investor partner with them and got to know them, and they've done really well, and I've had fun working with them. And one of them happened to be the son-in-law of John Magner, who is the kind of the patriarch of Coolmore, big horse operation, Irish horse operation. And they knew that I had some horses, and they said, well, do you think Brooke might be interested in joining us on a couple high-end yearlings? And at the time, I really didn't know how to process it. I thought, well, that could be interesting. These guys are really good. They've had incredible success. How could it maybe take a crack at owning a smaller slice of a couple really nice yearlings? They're buying these horses because they want to make the next sire. That's their business. They're in the breeding business. And they'll be happy to pay for the right horse. Justify's a great example. It's done really well as a sire. But they, every once in a while they'll spend some real money on these, horses that are bred off the charts that look amazing, and Sierra Leone happened to be that. I mean, everybody that I've talked to, and of course I wasn't at the sale, but I did agree to participate.
That was in Saratoga.
It was a big select sale. Yeah, it kind of kicks off the yearling season. So anyway, it addresses, I guess, a developing history. But those guys have been incredible to me. It's interesting because they've been doing it for decades. They're in their late 70s and early 80s, and here's this hat-wearing, gray-haired kind of scrapper from Kentucky that ends up in the mix. But it's been fun. And they're as excited as I am in a lot of ways because they've been doing it a long time. And
one of the gentlemen, he's one of your partners. Doesn't he have a Derby win already?
Yeah.
I think with
he owned part of Swale.
Swale, okay.
Is what I've heard. But but I think that this year with Sierra Leone, it's been super exciting. His races up to this point, and we're going to know a lot more this time next week.
Absolutely. One other question: where did the name come from?
Everybody asks me that, and I don't have a good answer.
Yeah.
It's a country. I did a little research on the country. There's got to be some personal connection to it. I'm not so sure that even Charlie Pearson, the guy who was one of the younger fellows in the insurance business in London I invested with, I think he worked in the military in England, and I think he might have actually have been stationed there or something. But I got to get this answer.
It's funny, I've never even, I hadn't really heard of Sierra Leone until obviously your horse, and now Kentucky's got a basketball recruit that's coming to play there that did a mission in Sierra Leone. I mean,
you can't make this stuff up. All right, I got to tell you guys a few things. Earlier this week, I'm running around, and my wife and my youngest son, they send me a video, and I look at it, and it's a Jeopardy question, and the answer is Sierra Leone. Okay, now you're watching Jeopardy, and it's the week before Derby, and there's a Sierra Leone as an answer. I mean, these things continue to go on and on. Last night at the end of the hoopla and the post position draw, I'm like, I need to eat something, so I went down, I fired down a hot dog, and the lady who sold me the hot dog's name, Sierra.
Oh my god!
So I mean, this stuff is just like, no, it's getting interesting.
I want to run to the window right now, baby.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll add, which is, and we can talk about this. Obviously, we will. Post position number 2. So
what are your thoughts on that?
Well, let me tell you another kind of thing that's uncanny. Danny Hutt favorite number was number 2. We would bet the 2 when we drew in the 2 slot. We were happy. His daughter Hillary actually works with me, and she was at the post position draw last night. And when they said the number 2, I think we had a bit of a blank look on our face because it was the number 2. But at the same time, I looked at her, and she nodded, and I said, "Yeah, the number 2. It's your daddy's favorite number."
And this was the gentleman you said passed away.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So
goodness.
And it's like, and there's others too, but it's like, what is going on?
That is crazy.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
And I believe in that kind of stuff.
Oh, I do too. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Sierra Leone a little bit here.
Yep.
Broke his maiden in November at Aqueduct. Finished second in the Remsen. Then won the Risen Star, and then won the Bluegrass. So 4 different tracks, I think, isn't it?
Well, 2 at Aqueduct at the beginning.
Okay.
3 different tracks.
Remsen was on.
Yeah, but moving around clearly, and training in Florida in the midst of it all. So shipping from, Payson to the Risen Star, and then back to Payson in Florida, and then from there to Keeneland to run the Bluegrass, and then stayed at Keeneland before he came to Churchill. But yeah, so it's a pretty good resume.
Absolutely.
And those were some of the better Derby preps too. It was a weird season this year. I mean, some of the races came up weird because of the field sizes and the times.
Especially the Florida Derby was really weird.
Florida Derby was strange. Tampa Bay Derby might have been as strange. It went through in like 51 or something. And
it's so slow. And normally that's a really good prep too.
yes, it's turned into one for sure. So, he really hadn't done much wrong. He's still kind of youthful, green, and he showed that in his first couple races, and he kind of steadied out a bit in the Remsen and the Bluegrass, though he acted up at the gate. But there's a lot being said about, you're on the inside, and, is that going to affect him? And, I mean, look, here's the deal. There's not a single post position that you could draw in the Kentucky Derby that couldn't be problematic. I mean, there's 20 horses in
Sure.
so
Absolutely.
yeah, inside, outside, racing style, who's around you, I get all that. But if there's one horse, and again, I knock on wood, I don't want to jinx him or his chances, but if there's one horse in that race, really, quite frankly, if you look at his past few races in any recent Derby that can overcome, he shall overcome. Well, guess what? Sierra Leone can overcome. He's proven it time and time again. I mean, how do you close in the mud in the Remsen from 35 lengths back on a day where nobody's closed, run wide? I mean, that's just, to me, that's the freakiest race I may have ever seen. I guess time will tell how important and historic it is. But the same in the
Bluegrass.
The Bluegrass. I mean, way back, and then so he
ran down a hell of a horse too at that.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
If you've been on the backside and you've seen any of these horses, just a touch is a monster. I mean, he looks like a man among boys, and he's clearly talented. So yeah, exactly. Running that horse down was no small feat.
Is this your first horse with Chad Brown?
It is. Yeah, I obviously knew his name, like you guys. You guys follow horses, and he's always been super successful. I like it. He's kind of got like a little seriousness to him, which I appreciate because that means he's thinking a lot about it. Mm-hmm. But he's also fun. He's a great guy. He's to himself and kind of quiet, but he's, you can look at a man's eyes and see, how excited he is and how serious he is. He's done an incredible job. He's been super patient with the horse.
And he's due. I think he's like 0 for 6. I think
Yep.
Tyler's the jock is like 0 for 6 or 0 for 7. So I mean, you've got 2 of the bigger names in the business, that they're gonna win one eventually. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's just hope. Let's hope it's this year.
Yeah, it'd be great. I'm all for that.
Let me ask you a quick question. I saw that Sierra Leone worked 5 furlongs yesterday, and I noticed Tyler was not on Sierra Leone. He was on Chad's other horse in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, when I first saw that, I thought, they must have its reasons. I'm never gonna second guess a trainer, especially one of his caliber and track record. But yeah. So, couple things there, and these are the comments I think that he made. Chris, the exercise rider, really knows the horse. Okay, Tyler loves the horse and knows what he's riding when he's on him. But I think it's all about control in these final workouts. And it's better to have the guy that knows the horse, even if maybe there was something that was a little tick off. I mean, that Tyler wouldn't be able to pick up, and there's nothing off. Again, knock on wood with Sierra Leone. But just, Chad wanted to go do it in a minute. He knows the horse, and at the same time, I think Irad, who's actually going to ride a domestic product, was unavailable,
Right.
and Tyler had ridden
The other one.
domestic product in the Tampa Bay Derby, and so he knows the horse.
Sure.
So that was a kind of I really admire that decision making. It was just on point.
Yeah, that makes sense now. But from, like Clay said, from an outsider.
Yeah.
You're like,
no,
that's
a couple
kinda
people
weird.
have texted me that. Bill Denzig's like, what is going on
Yeah,
here? But,
yeah.
but if you hear the story behind it, it makes sense.
I know Irad had to go up to New York, I think, yesterday and run. So,
Yeah, correct.
So you're from Oldham County,
Yes,
attended Clemson.
I did.
Been
Yeah.
there a few times. It's a fun place. Good.
It is. Greg growing up in the country in Oldham County, and kind of randomly found my way to Clemson. I visited it. I mean, I was a solid student in high school, but I'm not going to win any. You're not going to have extra lanyards hanging off me when I'm graduating. And I went down there and I thought, well, this is just amazing. It's a college town. It's a change of scenery, and but when there's a Louisville game down there, I always try to go with some of my friends from Louisville. I was a Louisville fan. I still am. And I'm nothing really against Kentucky. I know you guys have your rivalry here, but more Louisville. My dad would take me to the basketball games when Denny Crum was out there. But, Clemson's very hospitable. Sometimes you go to these environments and, they're mean about it. And Clemson, everything I've heard from any Louisville fan that's gone there for a football game has said, the nicest people. Hey, can we get you a cold beer or some barbecue?
Here they all tip well too with $2 bills. Is that right?
There's a lot of those $2 bills with orange tiger paws on it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've gotten to know Dabo a bit.
Have you?
Yeah, which is fun.
That's cool.
He's an interesting guy. I really respect how he coaches. He's a thoughtful guy. I guess kind of like Chad, his own right. He has his system. He does it his way. He's had success, and I think the people that go through his program come out of it. Not to be corny about it, but they come out of it men, and they come out of it beyond football. So yeah, I'm definitely I don't say a bleed orange, but pretty daggone close.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Since we're all horsemen here,
That's a stretch for me.
yeah, well, for us too. You're really supportive of the Backside Learning Center. I know that's really something that tugs at your heart. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the backsides. If we didn't have the backside, none of us would be that interested in horse racing.
Right.
And those folks, a lot of them from Central America or Mexico. They're a long way from home. They do it because they love the horses. There's clearly the English barrier, and they have families. And the Backside Learning Center is set up to kind of help them manage all that and to have a comfortable, life outside of the work that they do. And I started looking into it just because I kept seeing the Backside Learning Center sign. So I walked in there one day and I was speaking with them, and the people that run it are great, but they're doing it on like I've said, a shoestring budget, not a whole lot of money to fund their programming and the things that they do, and so we sat down and came up with this idea of purses for a purpose, where owners can give a percentage of their purses. I mean, what I'd really love to see is if there's a way that we could get Churchill Downs, when they sent out, that you would either, when you set up an account, let's say, because you're going to get purse money, that you could make an election just to give 1% of your purses.
See, that'd be
That's a
awesome.
great idea.
I mean, look, if you win $100,000 in purses and you gave $1,000 to the backside workers that were out there grinding on behalf of you and your horses,
Absolutely.
it sure seems like that's pretty much a no-brainer. And I've said this too. I'm not trying to tell people what to do with their money, but if you have horses and you're winning, that's a no-brainer.
Keep it in the family per se.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
But
I mean, yeah, it's like going somewhere and being like, "Would you like to round up your change?"
Yeah, same
Yeah,
principle.
Let's do it.
Same principle. You can always say no. I mean, all these folks, they give to these other
Sure.
nonprofits around the industry. So, but and it makes a big difference if even a decent percentage of the owners would do that. These folks would have better buildings and an extra van to run people to do what they need to do when they're not at the track. So,
Do you gamble? Like, will you bet on your horse?
oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I will.
Let me ask you
I'm
this.
not saying I'm a great handicapper or a gambler, but that's part of it.
Yeah. I know some guys, they're like, well, I've already got enough money invested in the horse. I don't really need to gamble. But I'm like, especially Derby, though. I mean, that's I mean, you could strike it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the
no,
one.
no. I mean, yeah,
Did you make any? Did you make any futures?
I did many.
Many.
Yes.
Oh,
I
baby.
have Sierra Leone.
What's the highest you got it at?
I think 39-1.
Wow.
Yep,
Nice.
39, 36, and then 31, and several to 20s, and I think I bet him the last time he was 7-1.
Oh, nice.
Because I just figured,
Well,
yeah, I mean, you're not going to get that on Derby Day.
No.
Hell no.
No.
Hell
I mean, look, I'm not saying I'm over there just double fisting it, but
Right.
I will say this, and this is a funny story from last night when they put the post positions up and the horse got the 2-hole. I swear I thought I heard some woman in the back say, and I'm almost positive, she said, bet the HELOC. Hit the home equity line for that. And I was just like, whoa.
Another sign.
I'm not going to tell anybody to go out and hit their home equity line to bet on this dang on horse. Yeah. I'm going to tell you this, and again, not because I gambled a lot, but because I have these long odds. If this sucker wins, I'll have a small house out of this deal.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's
The learning center might really be learning this.
Yeah. And again, after having a few bourbons at their little handicapping seminar, I told them that, look, if the horse wins, we'll kick in an extra $100,000.
Yeah.
In the Continuum, it's a lot of money. Again, I'm not throwing these dollars around to make light of it, but if you win the Kentucky Derby and you have a horse that's bred off the screen, that's going to end up becoming a sire, maybe a meaningful sire, let alone the purses that you're receiving along the way. Sure. I mean, it's just, these are easy decisions for me. I mean,
absolutely.
Why am I here? How did I get so lucky to be in the middle of this? You got to share it.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. That's awesome.
All right, I got a couple quick hitting questions.
Come on,
for you.
let's go.
All right, when was the first time you went to the Derby?
That's a good question. I should know the answers to these kind of things. Might have been Go for Gin. How long ago was that?
Go for Gin was like early 90s.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I want to say like 91, 92, something like that.
I think that was the first Derby because I remember it was raining cats and dogs. Mm-hmm. And I was packed.
Were you in the infield?
Oh, actually, take that back. I've been to the infield. So, yes, I have been to the Derby. But the first kind of in the grandstands. I mean, I was at the very tail end of the stands. But yeah, the infield, yes. I got to have a couple funny stories from. Who doesn't have funny stories from the infield? No, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking like in adult terms versus like
Yeah.
Derby, wild ass terms.
Well, we all started. We all had to start in the infield.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
We
it.
all started. We're like, one day, man, I'm gonna sit on that side.
Yeah, but honestly, who cares? I mean, the infield's great. When it's pretty out, it's a great spot.
Oh, yeah.
They've got programming in there. You can get food using music, the betting windows. And then when it rains and it turns into muddy mosh pit, I mean, that's almost more fun. These people running across the top of the daggone
It's wild.
40 cans, having beers thrown at them and slipping, and girls rolling around in the mud. I mean, you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
So I will say this. I have gone into the infield and have a regular kind of history of doing that when I'm at the track. Just to walk through the tunnel, hear the people yell, pop up. I have some funny photographs of myself and some of my friends when we were like 3/4 of the way through the day and 3/4 of the way done, and we were in the infield, and we did bring back memories. But so there's your long answer. I get to rambling. I apologize.
No, you're good.
You're good. I'm glad they didn't have cell phones and all that when we were in the infield back in the day.
Oh boy, no, that would have been bad. That's why I have no social media.
Who's your favorite horse of all time? Who's besides Sierra Leone now, of course?
Wow.
Who's the horse that you were like, that is just the biggest badass I've ever seen?
That's a tough question. That's like asking somebody what's your favorite bourbon.
That might be coming next.
Oh,
question.
gosh, okay. Well,
Or is there one?
yeah. I'm trying to think of maybe moments that were related to important horses. Like, I remember one time I was involved in a group syndicate where I owned a very small percentage, and the guy that had put it together was just during a Saratoga meet, and he had a relationship with Bill Mott, and he said, well, the Cigar is stabled at and I guess Mott gets some kind of little barn that's a Saratoga setup. There's all these barns. There's the Omaha track and the main track, and people just kind of feed in, which is amazing. And this is one of these kind of off the beaten path, like one barn. It looks like it's just in its most pristine. How it gets real lush in the summer up there. And he said, why don't you come by and see Cigar? I'll arrange it.
That was my favorite horse, by the way, of all time.
Really?
Oh,
yeah. I mean, it's hard to say he wasn't. I mean, Zenyatta, I did see the Breeders' Cup. Of course, I bet against one time.
Lost to Blaine.
I bet Blame actually, but I remember that horse had a personality like a dog, and some of that Sierra Leone has. I mean, he kind of looks around and moves like a dog, and not a dog horse, but I would say Cigar. And so my wife and I, we went there, and we were there was nobody there. Mott was like the only person there. It was probably midday, late morning, and he took us to Cigar's stall, and to even talk about it, getting goosebumps. Yeah. But we were standing there looking around the setting, and there's this Cigar, and I was just like, I don't know if I'll ever experience anything like this.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, so there's an answer there.
What's your favorite track?
I'd have to say Saratoga. I mean, we've been rambling about it. There's a lot of great tracks. I like just like most places that I go, I like pretty much everything for something, right?
Absolutely.
So like when we went up to Aqueduct and we watched the Remsen, I have a son.
Was that your first trip up there at Aqueduct?
Yeah, never been.
I've never been either.
Yeah, if you've been to Pimlico, it's similar. It's kind of, a lot of these tracks are kind of in.
Some of them call it Aquadog.
Yeah, no, Aqueduct. yeah, it's rough and tumble. There's no question about it. But that's the beauty of it,
sure.
And there's like some little Italian restaurant. It's famous. I should know the name off the top of my head, but it has like an Italian name, guy's name. And you go in there, and they give you clams and linguine, and the guy will just flip it onto your plate and flop the clams on there, and then you put a jug of house red wine on the table. It's who knows what it is, but it tastes pretty good. Yeah, right. Hello. And so those are the things that are great around these types of tracks. Saratoga's great. I've been to Del Mar, but only kind of briefly. It's gorgeous. I like Santa Anita a lot, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, when you're looking out,
mountains in the background.
That's probably the single best view of any track. Mm-hmm. But as far as going to the races and being around the races and being around a horse town, Saratoga, I mean, I don't know how you beat it.
What's your favorite restaurant at Saratoga?
You are peppering me with these tough questions.
They're tough.
Yeah. Let's see. In its day, and that's probably been 15 years and nothing against it today, Ciro's was always great. They used to bring these huge lobsters out. You just tell them how many pounds you wanted, and then everybody's sitting on top of each other, and lobster flesh is flopping everywhere. Got the piano in the other room. Wishing Well's great, and there's some newer restaurants up there that are actually pretty good. I was up there for the sales and meat.
Been to 15 Church?
I've heard of that one.
Yeah,
I've heard that's amazing.
That's one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. Maybe since I know you guys, I can get a table there.
Probably could, yeah. Or Chad Brown might be able to get you one too.
Yeah.
I think we've seen him in there a few times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or he's seen us in there a few times.
The party, you can't. Yeah, right. No, I hear you. That's a better way to put it. You can't talk about Saratoga with like throwing like the parting glass in there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's just fun on the right night when everybody's in there. You see folks from Louisville. You see the trainers.
Oh yeah.
So
That's what's so cool. Let me ask you this: Are you going to walk over with the horse?
Yes.
See, to me, let me ask you this: if you could put some theme music behind you when you're walking the horse over, what would your song be walking that horse over?
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of music lately, kind of just take my mind off all the excitement. But gosh, you could go a couple different routes there. You could go classic rock. You could do
I was thinking if I had a horse, I'd want Aerosmith, Sweet Emotion.
No,
everybody's in the stands
yeah.
Let's fucking go.
No, that's it. No, it
has
to have something like that that's got like a little bit of chill to it, but seriousness. I mean, when we were headed,
give me one. You got one rolling off your tongue there. I know. Come on.
Gosh, I mean, last night we were going to the post position crawl. Guns N' Roses came on.
Okay.
And it was just like how. Take me down to the paradise.
Oh yeah.
It starts slow and it gets into a rage.
Yeah.
Rage. You could if you really wanted to just get aggressive, you could just crank some Rage Against the Machine.
There you go.
Or you could get into some kind of really kind of chill, little Kygo DJ-ish kind of floating in. I don't know. That's you're asking great questions.
Yeah. Now the other thing I got to know is because obviously you're a fashionable kind of guy. You got your lucky hat on. What's the fit going to look like? Have you thought about it?
Yeah, I mean,
You haven't picked out yet?
I did get a kind of a. So
It's like your wife help you with this, or do you dress yourself?
She gave
for
up
this
on
thing?
helping me a long time ago, man. She will tell me when I'm out of line, and I thank her for that. I the Cool Moore guys and their partners are very serious about it, which again, it's important to be serious, and they all generally wear suits, Hermes ties, and they're put together. That's not really my style, but it's very classic. I did go with I think more of a navy suit, and then I'll have some kind of fun tied pocket square, and you'll be seeing this lid for sure. Yeah, and then I'll wear these old beater boots. But I can't imagine what it's gonna be like walking over with the horse. And if you spot me in the crowd, I'm gonna be hooping and hollering it without hopefully spooking Sierra Leone.
I've been fortunate enough to walk over with a friend in the Belmont before. And that is just, it was about 16 years ago, and it was.
Yeah, I mean they limit the people that you can invite with you.
I was going to say, yeah. So how does that work out with the owners per se? I mean, how many boxes does Churchill actually give you guys?
As it relates to the owners and this particular group, since there's a handful of us, they've been great. I think each owner gets like what they call like a finish line suite. It's a little slot kind of thing with the AstroTurf in front.
Oh yeah.
Right down there.
Is that where they're going to put you all at?
Yeah, that's the kind of the core real estate. You can put about 20 people there, and they also make another box or two available. So I've taken a handful of tickets in that, but then I have like 4 or 5 other boxes.
Where will you personally watch the race?
Right there.
Right there.
Yeah, I'll be right there with.
Are you gonna watch? So you're gonna watch it on the track and?
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'd almost need like a TV in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Like just like it, because when you're watching it from the, or I have to have some binoculars. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, if I own the horse, that's the only one I'm concentrating on.
Especially Sierra Leone coming from the back.
Yeah.
You got to keep an eye on him because it's not like there's 20 horses. He's going to be back here possibly.
And plus, you're wanting to watch break too as well. You don't want to get too dinged up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Well, again, he's probably the best suited for whatever happens in that scenario because he's been banged around. He's banged into horses. He's eaten more dirt probably in his couple last few races besides the bluegrass than any of them have, and so stuff flopping in his face is not going to bother him. And Tyler is very confident in him, so I don't think he'll panic. He may end up being dead last going into the turn, and if he is, I'm not saying he can't win it. Granted, he has to have some pace.
I think the pace is going to be there. I mean, everybody always tries to say, "You think it's going to be a fast Derby?" Well, hell yeah, they're all fast. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you've got some horses in there that don't belong, and the only chance they got is to freaking go and say, catch me if you can. So there's going to be some pace there.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially if Dornock gets out. They tried to rate that horse. He's not going to.
No.
He's going. Garvin's sending. You know what I'm saying?
That's what he's
Especially
saying.
in the one hole. You don't have choice. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be plenty of pace in there. So I like you. I agree. I mean, I'd just relax.
I mean, I don't think you have to, for him, I don't think you have to have a scorching pace, but you have to have an honest pace. Draw the 2-hole, he might be, let's just say, 50% further behind than he would have been, but at the same time, it's tough to watch and exciting. But if he goes into the first turn and he's last, it's not like I'm going to fold the tent up,
Right.
And
what'd you say last night? Save the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Down
exactly.
the inside.
Save it.
Save the ground.
Save the ground. To take some variability of trying to get in there. I think if he'll get, like Chad said, it takes a second for his engines to get cranked, but he's got such a long stride that once he gets going, so he's just going to have to kind of be thoughtful and lay in there. They talk about fierceness. There's some people that are like, that's not even a contest. It's a one-horse race. I mean, fierceness runs his race, he wins. But
Coming out of the 17 hole.
Yeah.
You know how many horses won out of the 17
Yeah,
hole?
0.
Yeah.
But that I don't know. So, but with him, let's just talk about like buyer speed figures, okay? And they're important, or you can look at rags and numbers and all these different things. Sierra Leone is on the improve, okay? And if you talk to Chad, or especially if you talk to Tyler, they'll say there's still a reasonable, if not, without jinxing things, a lot left under the hood.
Yeah.
And so if Sierra Leone's highest buyer was a 98, usually you can win the Derby with a 105. Okay, that's a pretty solid number. Many that have been won, 101. But
105 will win the Derby.
Yeah. So if you're sitting here telling me that you don't think that horse has got another 5 to 10 bips in him, I would argue I disagree. And to be able to run a 110 buyer like Fierceness, that's a mark. Now, can he improve? Maybe potentially. I don't know that the Derby is a race that's going to happen, but if Sierra Leone improves and makes that late run and gets some pace, it could be interesting. I mean, it could be one of these lopsided derbies. I mean, the odds makers have defined two clear favorites. Fierceness gets on the lead and the race goes his way, and there's racing trouble for Sierra Leone and some of the others. Then it could be wire to wire by 3 or 4, or if Sierra Leone is that much better than people think, he could make the run. And I think it's going to be this. I just fast forward me to the top of the stretch. Okay, that's and look, if Sierra Leone is within striking distance, he's got a shot. And I'd love to see like Fierceness in those on the front end, because this is what we want to see. And then I want to see him he's either going to run him down and go on, or he might just not get there. And look, the horse is incredible. His breeding's great. We've already won a couple stake races. The Hunter's Bluegrass is in the history books. Okay, so if he runs a good race and ends up a second or third for maybe a little trouble, or he just couldn't get to the horse that was on the lead, I mean, that isn't the end of anything. That's just kind of really the beginning. Probably take the Preakness off, and then he likes the distance, take a crack at the Belmont at Saratoga, and then he's been very sound, which again is something that is super important. Sorry to ramble, but the point I'm trying to make there is there are a lot of really great horses that just seem to always have like the nag in this or the nag in that, and he hadn't had any of those types of things because Chad's taken his time, and he's one that I think can make it into the summer and fall, and healthy.
And see, that's if I were in your shoes, I would just be nervous to death every day. Just, is the horse going to be okay? We all know. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they're fragile animals. You know what I'm saying? So just getting to the starting gate. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the thing. Just getting to the gate, give him a chance.
The likelihood that there'll be a scratch between now and the race is probably pretty high. Again, knock on wood. I don't wish that on anybody that has a horse in the race. Or there's probably some that might not scratch but are just tired, or a little sore. Not sore to the point that they shouldn't be racing, but they're like athletes,
Absolutely.
An NBA player gets the crap banged out of them, and night after night, eventually they probably need a break. So, I mean, we can all talk about it a lot. I would not trade the spot that I'm in with this horse with any other horse in the race. No question about it. And let the games begin.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, what if you had 5 horses to throw in a trifecta box?
Yeah.
Who would your 5 be? Besides Sierra Leone.
I would start, and this is a big statement, but I would throw Fierce's out.
Okay.
I would probably throw Forever Young out. And they may come in 1-2, and then you can play this back, and everybody in the horse world can say he's a damn fool. But look, to go on record, I know I'm a damn fool. So you tell me that is not going to change how I feel about things. So I'd throw those 2 out because I want to make a ticket.
Oh well, if you throw those 2 out, you're going to have you a ticket here.
Yeah. Look, there's some great horses in there that can jump up. I would put Anna Marie in there. I would put Catching Freedom in there.
Costa's other horse, you think? You like Catching Freedom better than Touch Life?
I do. I really like Just a Touch.
Just a Touch. Sorry.
Yeah, Just a Touch. I really like Just a Touch. So Just a Touch would be in there as well. I think he could hit the board, and then let's just see who we can throw in there to spice it up a little bit. I would throw Encino in there because he's 20-1 morning line. And so I bet the HELOC on the 5-horse try box: Sierra Leone, Catching Freedom, Just a Touch, Anna Marie, and Encino.
There you go.
Take it to the bank.
Yeah.
Brooke, you're our first guest we ever had on Rumors from the Corner, so
fantastic.
Really appreciate you coming on. Good luck to you. And Sierra Leone is definitely the horse at Kern's Corner. that we're pulling for.
Are you going to have room for a couple of us in the winners picture circle?
If you can get
The
there,
150,
you're more than welcome.
you know.
I don't know how that works. I will drop some Sierra
You
Leone
see
hats
that big
about it.
ass down there going,
Look, if it was me, I got to be very respectful to my partners.
Sure.
Because they've worked a lot harder and longer to get here than I have. I just kind of got in at the right time.
Sure.
So, and I completely respect that. But I might not be in the winner's circle. I might be running up and down the track like Ferris Bueller. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
Like Clay said, best of luck to you.
Yeah, and congratulations on your podcast.
All right. Appreciate you, man.
Good seeing you
Thank
guys.
you. All right.
Yep.
How fun was that? What a great interview, man. Thank you so much, Brooke Smith, for the interview. It's a lot of fun, and good luck to you, my friend.
Absolutely, man. That was awesome. When we interviewed him Sunday morning after he left, you and I talked. I was like, man, that was awesome, dude. Like, we could have talked to that dude for an hour.
Oh, easily.
I mean, no problem.
Easily.
Yeah. He was fun. Wish him all the luck on Saturday. I've been hitting the backside a few times. Really getting a good look at the horses. We're getting some good info for this week. Hopefully everything works out. But with that being said, I know you're not going to be with us. I'm going to be giving my picks out for the rest of the week if you people like and subscribe to this podcast. Okay? If I get on here in the morning and I don't see any action, likes, and subscribes, then I may be tempted not to give out my picks because, this is what we do it for. You know what I'm saying? We do it for the people. We don't charge. We just want some likes and some subscribes. Okay? Now, with that being said, it would be too hard logistically for me and my man Clay to get together every morning to give you our picks. But, with that being said, without further ado, Little Buddy and his synopsis of this year's 150th Kentucky Derby. Take it away.
All right, here we go. Obviously, it's going to be a very fast pace. They always talk about it like that. It's going to be a fast pace. This is who I'm betting. Win in place, I'm taking the 2-horse Sierra Leone. He's done nothing wrong. I mean, what a heck of a horse. Pretty consistent.
And we know the owner.
Yes, we do. he probably, I think, 2 of the biggest races, prep races, he won, So I'm taking him to win in place. My exacta box, which is going to be a 3-horse exacta box, is going to be the 2 Sierra Leone, the 8-horse Just a Touch with Florent at 10-1, and my third is going to be Resilience, the 19-horse Junior Alvarado on it at 20-1. My try box is going to consist of 5 horses. It's going to be those 3.
You playing $1 or 50 center?
I'm going to play $1.
Okay.
At least $1.
For you folks out there, that's going to cost
At
you
least.
$120.
The 2, the 8, and 19. And then I'm going to throw Whit Beckman's horse in, the 7-horse Anna Maria with Ben Curtis.
It's kind of been
Nobody knows anything
a
about Ben
lukewarm.
Curtis.
It's kind of been a lukewarm buzz horse, as far as like a long shot. Somebody that might run up in there at a big price.
Ben Curtis we're going to hear a lot about him coming. He just came over within the past year. He's been over in Europe running. So yeah, that horse is 20-1, and then I'm going to go with the 3-horse Mystic Dan, McPeak, Hernandez. Heck of a combo. Man. They're 20-1. So this try is going to pay if it hits. And
yeah.
I always do in the Derby a 6-horse Superfecta box. So I'm going to take those 5, and the last horse is going to be the Santa Anita Derby winner, Stronghold, the 18-horse, who is 20-1. So I'm throwing bombs at you. If it hits, it hits.
With that being said, I mean, if I've noticed correctly, there's no fierceness in there.
Who?
Fierceness.
Oh, of course not. The favorite?
Toss him.
Done. He's too up and down. Obviously, he could win by 10, but Seems like he runs a good race, then a bad race, then a great race, then a bad race. His last one was a great race.
Great.
So
strongest.
if you're gonna win some
numbers
money
in the field.
if you're gonna win some money, you got to take some chances, and this is the chance that I'm going and taking. So that's it. Beware.
Hey, no, that'll be good. And I'll be honest with you. I'll give out my picks a little bit closer to Derby time, but you've got a lot of the same horse. You and I are thinking really on the same level. It's kind of scaring me a little bit.
We haven't talked at all about
no,
this
we
either,
have not.
so.
We have not. And that is
scary.
I mean, really, dude, like, if you look at my Derby superfecta as of right now, okay, I'm not going to say who it is, but I have 6. What do we have, like 4 out of the 6?
Looks like we have 3.
3 out of the 6?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's pretty, I mean, I think it's a good sign because
Let's do it.
when you and I are on the same path,
Yes.
especially when it comes to horses,
Good things
usually
mostly happen.
Exactly, yes. So we've been lucky there. So, well, that'll be awesome, man. I guess we'll go ahead and I'll give you my picks for tomorrow while we have you on here. Thank you, Clay, for those your Derby insights.
Absolutely.
And maybe who knows? We might get you back on one day during the week if you have time.
Possibly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we know that you know what you're doing every minute of every hour. Okay, so
That is true.
yes. So if we can get you back on, if you can bless us with your presence one more time during Derby week, we'll take it. If
We'll
not,
see.
we understand.
Let's take it day by day.
Okay, without further ado, folks, the picks for tomorrow. Now, you got to understand, this is for Tuesday. Today is Monday, okay? I don't know who is scratched yet, okay? So do me a favor. Don't be blowing my phone up going, hey, 2 out of the 4 picks are scratched. I'm sorry, okay? I'm going to give them to you now. Here we go. In the first race, we have a claiming race, 40,000 claimer. Pretty good race here. I'm going to give you 4 horses. Now, here's what I suggest you do. Play an exacta box with those 4 horses. Play a try box if there's 8 horses or better, and play a super box if there's 8 horses or better. Okay? If there's no more than 8 horses, if there's not 8 horses, don't waste your money on a try or super. We're not going to get a whole lot of money back there. But just play the exactas for sure. That's where you're going to make the money at. Okay? If I see one in here that I really like, I'll let you know. In the first race, my numbers are 4, 5, 1, 2. In the second race, we have what we got here? A $32,000 claimer. These claiming races, guys, especially the cheaper ones, anybody can win these kind of races. But we're going to go with the 3-2-6-4 in the second, 3-2-6-4. In the third race is an allowance race. We're going to go with the 5-8-1-6. 5-8-1-6. That's in the third. All right, in the fourth race. Okay, fourth race is a main special weight. I love these main specials. A lot of times, do yourself a favor. I mean, there's only 7 horses in this particular main special weight, but do yourself a favor. Watch the tote board in these main specials, especially with some of these horses who haven't run in a while. The barn will let you know a lot. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to take the 2-1-6-7 in the fourth race. The 2-1-6-7. In the fifth race, we have an allowance race on the turf. I love turf races. Love them, love them, love them. Lots of money to be made in the turf races. With that being said, we have a big field here, so we definitely will be playing the super and the try. We're going to go 6-3-7-10. 6-3-7-10. In the sixth race, we have a $10,000 claimer. All right, folks, these $10,000 claimers, you could run them 10 times, and you'd have a different winner 10 times, okay? But so when I say that, just don't go too crazy on some of these bets. We've got really good races coming up Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Save your big coin for those days. All right. So with that, we're going to go with the 4986 in the 6th. In the 7th, got another claiming race, $30,000 claimer here. We are going to go with, I think, oh yeah. And this is kind of going to be a little bit of a long shot. I like this horse. I'd probably play this 2-horse across the board here in the 7th race. So play that horse across the board, and then go ahead with the numbers 2, 4, 3, 5. 2, 4, 3, 5. All right. And then in race 8, I've got another long shot I like. We're back on the this is on the turf. A sprint race on the turf. I love this horse cutting back. Okay. Anytime you've got a turf race, and this particular horse here, he's been running a mile and a 16th. They're going to cut it back to 5 furlongs. He's got a sharp gate work here at Turfway back in April. So I think this horse is going to come out fast and furious, and we need to hurry up, Hannah. Number 3. That's going to be my long shot play of the day. Is it really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Look at the owner. Run for the Hills Stables.
I'll be damned. I didn't even know.
I follow that horse. He's won last, or she's won last. She won the one.
Yeah,
before.
I mean they ran it in this big race up here at
It won.
up here at Leone. Well, they ran it in the Latonia. It ran 7th that day.
The race before that.
Yes, it did. Yeah, it's one of the last 2 races prior to that. Yeah. He was just a little outclassed that last race, but like I said, they're going to cut it back. I love that cutback angle. You know what I'm saying?
It's a big cutback.
Yeah, and I look for him just maybe get to the front and go try to steal the race. But my numbers that is crazy. Best of luck to the connections there with Jerry and the boys. 3, 5, 4, 1, and like I said, the 3 will be my long shot play of the day. I would play that across the board as well. And then in the last race here, we have we're going to do 1, 12, 13, and 3. 1, 12, 13, and 3. That one's going to be really tough to beat in the last race, so don't get too crazy. Maybe put a little win bet on that one if you get some decent odds on it. So best of luck to you guys tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed our show, our first interview. I'm excited about the whole week. Can't wait to get this thing going, and we'll be back with you. Hopefully we get some likes and some subscribes. If I can get at least 25, we'll be back tomorrow. Best of luck to you.
Good luck.